Alright, back again with another ChatGPT tier list challenge. Today we got the most unexpected comebacks. Rank survivors, killers, perks, items, or even maps based on how much they contribute to the most surprising and clutch comebacks in Dead by Daylight matches. Right, so we're going to be doing this on killer. Might do another video on this on survivor and maps and items like that. But first things first, we got the trapper. Now trapper, it really depends on what build you're using with him. Although he'll most likely going to spend like the first quarter of the game just setting up your traps, so most likely you're gonna get like 3 gens done at the beginning of the game. So there is a chance he's gonna be clutching it. All depends on the build you are using, but all around he isn't the best and easiest killer to clutch games with, so B tier is where he is going to go. Next up we got Raid. Very similar to trapper here. It really depends on what build you're using and your playstyle with him. Realistically here, again, not the most powerful killer in the game. He is the most balanced one though, or one of the most balanced killers out there, so you do have a very decent chance at making a comeback with him. Granted, unless you're going against like a full sweaty squad survive with friends, but usually you won't really struggle with him, so B tier next to trapper is where he's going to go. Next up we got Billy. Now Billy really depends on your skill level, to be honest, rather than like his builds and stuff like that. A good Billy can even win without perks. To be fair, obviously it always depends on what survivors you're going against, but all around I think he's much more easier to make a comeback with rather than trapper and Wraith, so A tier is where he's going to go. Next up we got Nurse. Moving on, we got Myers. Now again, very similar to Trapper. It really depends on what build you're using. If you're using like Burger King Myers or like Scratch Barrel Myers, it really depends on how you're playing him and like the add-ons and everything. So it really depends on all of that. However, in general, you can do a decently okay comeback with this guy. So B tier is where he's going to go. Next up, we got Hag. Moving on, we got Doctor. Now Doctor, I do feel like he can make quite a good comeback regardless of whatever build you're using or whatever add-ons you're using. This guy does have a lot of potential, so A tier is where he's going to go. Moving on, we got Huntress. Now realistically here, if you're good at aiming with Huntress, you won't really struggle at all. Especially if you have a rocky stud, you can easily get a comeback with her. Granted, if you're good with her hatchets, if you're average or a little bit bad with them, then most likely you will not be able to clutch it so easily. She's very skill dependent, so S tier is where she's going to go. Moving on, we got Boba. Realistically here, this guy, you can make a very easy comeback with him if you know how to play him well. Like, as long as you're not like camping or anything, you can easily get a 4K with him, so A tier is where he's going to go. Moving on, we got Freddy. Now Freddy can actually make some very nice comebacks, especially if you had like a terrible start and you got like 4 gens and like barely any hooks. You can do a little bit of a comeback, but I don't really think you can manage to get a 4K or even a 3K for that matter. Maybe a 2K at most. So B tier is where he's going to go. Moving on, we got Pig. Now Pig, she isn't the strongest killer in the game. However, depending on how you choose to play her, depending on how good you are at like setting up traps, making sure that the survivor doesn't get the trap off, it depends a lot on your playstyle with her. But all around, even if you're very good with her, I think you manage around maybe a 1 or a 2K. That's pretty much it. So C tier is where she's going to go. Moving on, we got Clown. If you're good at throwing his bottles, you won't struggle that much at all. You can easily make a clutch. So it depends on how good you are at aiming yet again. But all around in general, if you are average with his bottles, I think you would still manage to get around a 2K, something like that. So B tier is where he's going to go. Moving on, we got Spirit. Next up, we got the Legion. Legion, I'm gonna be quite frankly honest here. Highly doubt this guy could make a combo. Then again, depending on what builds and add-ons you're using. So C tier is where he is going to go. Moving on, we got the Plague. Next up, we got Ghostface. Now Ghostface is actually very similar to Myers here. They're both very stealthy killers, very similar power. all around, it depends on the add-ons and depends on the build you're using with this guy. To be fair, I think you would have a higher chance of getting a comeback with Ghostface rather than with Myers, just because he does have a little bit more to him. So A tier is where he's going to go. Moving on, we got good old Demo. Demo, to be fair, he does have a lot of gen pressure and map pressure all around, so you can easily make a comeback with him, depending on, again, what builds and add-ons you're using, and of course, survivors you're going against. But overall, regardless of that, I think you would still manage to get around the 2, maybe even a 3k with this guy, granted that you know well how to play him. So A tier is where he's going to go. Next up, we got Oni. Oni is a very strong killer, to be fair. It doesn't really matter what build or add-ons you're using with this guy. Honestly, if you're good with his power, you can easily make a comeback regardless. So S tier is where he's going to go. Moving on, we got Death Slinger. Now this Slinger is similar to Hunters here. If you're good at aiming, you can easily make a clutch. However, this guy might be slightly harder due to the fact that his harpoon is limited with a certain range. But all around, I think you'll still manage to make a comeback. You may not be able to get a 4k, but at least maybe get like a 1, maybe even a 2k. So B tier is where he's going to go. Moving on, we got Pyramid. Next up, we got Bleed. Moving on, we got the Twins. Now, Twins do rely on their playstyles and the builds quite a lot more than most killers here. If you're using very good add-ons with her, along with a very good build, you'll most likely be getting around the 3k guaranteed, granted that you know how to play her, you know how to use Victor and all of that. So A tier is where she's going to go. Next up, we got the Trickster. Trickster, very similar to Huntress here, to be honest. Again, all you really need is aim. Well, this guy, you don't actually need aim with him. We just spam 60 billion knives and that's pretty much it. You're basically bound to hit. So S tier is where he's going to go. Next up, we got Nemesis. Moving on, we got Pinhead. Now, Pinhead, I've actually seen Pinheads that do terribly at the start. Like, the 4 gens were basically done, or almost the 5th one was done, and they had like 2 hooks, and somehow they managed to clutch it at the end. Mainly because of the build they were using, but as well, the killer helped. So, I'm actually going to put this guy up there straight up in A tier. Next up, we got the Artist. The Artist can actually change the game pretty quickly. If you're good with her crows and you know how to place them well, you can end chases within seconds. So all around, insanely good killer. S tier is where she's going to go. Moving on, we got the Onryo. Very similar to Artist here, to be fair. If you know how to abuse her power to the max, you will probably be able to make a very nice comeback with her. So S tier as well is where she's going to go. Moving on, we got the Dredge. Next up, we got Wesker. Now, Wesker, if you know how to like do a bunch of techs with this guy, you know very well how to use his power. You basically, if you're a master at Wesker, then you will easily make comebacks regardless of the build or anything like that. So A tier is where he is going to go. Next up, we got the Knight. I will be frankly honest, this guy can change the game within an instant. Consider the fact that he can end chases like way faster than most killers here, even faster than Artist, just because he can just use his power on the survivor, but basically be like a 2v1. So S tier is where he's going to go. Next up, we got the Skull Merchant. Now with her, even if you know how to place her drones well and you've kind of like proxying all of that, you will most likely be granting yourself a 3k there, easily make a comeback with her. But it really depends on the survivors you're going against. So A tier is where she's going to go. Moving on, we got Singularity. Very similar to Onryo here, to be fair. If you know how to abuse his power to the max, you will be fine with this guy. You can easily make a comeback. So S tier is where he's going to go. Next up, we got the Xenomorph. Honestly, for me, she's a very good killer. You can easily make comebacks with her. She has a lot of map pressure and all of that. She's good with chases. So all around, A tier is where she's going to go. Moving on, we got Chucky. Now Chucky, it really depends on your playstyle and the map you got. If you know well how to use his power and you got a semi-open field map, then you'll most likely be making quite a nice comeback. However, if you're going against like very good survivors that know what they're doing and you have a very close like indoor map kind of thing, you will kind of struggle a little bit, but I think you still may manage to be able to get like 2, maybe even a 3k. So A tier is where he's going to go. Next up, we got the unknown. Moving on, we got the Vecna, or I guess the Lich. This guy, he can easily make a comeback, especially if you know how to utilize all of his abilities, like you know how to use his orb, his fly ability, etc, etc. You will not struggle at all with this guy, especially as well if you have a very good anti-gen build. You will most likely be fine. So A tier is where he's going to go. Next up, we got Dracula. Dracula, it really depends on the build. I don't think he can do very good without a build or without any decent add-ons. That being said, it all depends on the survivors you're going against and your skill level with him. It's just like similar to most killers here. So B tier is where he's going to go. Next up, we got the Houndmaster. Moving on, we got Ken Kaneki himself. Honestly, I have seen so many goals. I've gone against so many goals that managed to turn the game around last second. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this guy straight up there in S tier. Last but not least, we got Springtrap himself. Now, I do feel like this guy is very similar to Huntress here, pretty much. If you know how to utilize his axe, if you're very good at aiming, you will most likely be fine. This guy does have a lot of map pressure as well with his doors, so you won't really struggle as much. However, if you're going against very good survivors, then you might be in slight predicament. So S tier is where he is going to go. But that's been my ChatGPT most unexpected comebacks tier list for Killer. Some of you are going to agree with my choices, some of you may disagree. It's always how a tier list goes. Everyone has their own opinion, which is perfectly fine. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good night, guys.